right now. Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We've got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.
All right, thanks a lot, Josh, and thank you for tuning into the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. I'm Rich Walsh, and you can give us a call tonight at 412-575-2600. Suzie Cool over in Studio A will be joining me for tonight's show, and we're taking your phone calls. We're obviously going to be talking about the Steelers getting ready for Jacksonville. The Jaguars are preseason opener. It sounds like a lot of the guys are going to be playing from Jacksonville. Not the case for the Steelers. I would expect, I think he's already, Mike Tomlin, ruled out 15 guys. And if you do see a starter out there, he's going to play one or two series. I mean, this is Mike Tomlin protocol that no one plays in that first game. I wouldn't expect any guys to play long, but he wants to see. This is a good opportunity for some of the younger guys. This is why a guy like Beanie Bishop made the team last year. So, if you're watching for the guys that are you're looking to stand out or make a name for themselves, tomorrow is an opportunity for them when the lights come on.
Yeah, and I think it's a good opportunity for people that might have been injured last year, right? That didn't get as many reps as they needed, and they can get them in these preseason games. I think one of those big names that we are going to see tomorrow is going to be Troy Fautanu, and I think that everybody's going to be very excited to see what he can do. Well,
no question about it. Troy Fautanu is going to play, obviously, right tackle. He's going to start there. Might play two series potentially, but on the other side, Broderick Jones is going back to his natural position, although he didn't play many games in college because the Steelers drafted him. He only had one season there at left tackle, but he's going to be your starter at left tackle. Both those guys need work. Also, you got Zach Frazier, Mason McCormick. Isaac Seumalo is going to be the only starter that's not going to play on the offensive line. Okay, that leads us to our Penn West University live poll question of the night. Just scan that QR code in the right-hand corner of your screen. Should there be fewer NFL preseason games? For me, I think so. I think you're going to see this change in a couple years. You would probably see them go to two preseason games. They're not going to eliminate the preseason altogether, but I would not be surprised that you're going to see 18 regular season games and two preseason games. I think they tried to middle it with going with 17-3 before it was 16-4. So I think they're trying to get to that 18 games and two preseason games.
I do think that 2 might be the sweet spot. I think 3 drags it out a little bit, and I think everybody just wants to get to the season. They want to see the actual competitiveness of these games. I just think that 2 preseason games, you have that first game where if you are a coach like Mike Tomlin, you don't have a lot of the starters in. You try to have some people kind of prove their place on the team this year, and then that next game can be that little refresher for the guys that will be out there for the season.
I know a lot of fans out there want to see guys like Jalen Ramsey, Jonnu Smith. They're not playing. Obviously, you want to see what Aaron Rodgers can do in black and gold. He's not playing. So it's going to be a little disappointment there. But you have the opportunity to watch a guy like Derek Harmon, their first-round draft pick, Caleb Johnson. You would have seen Will Howard, but he's hurt right now. He won't be playing this preseason. You're going to see Mason Rudolph and Skylar Thompson. We all know what Mason Rudolph can do. That won't be a surprise. But Skylar Thompson, this guy has a chance to maybe win that third job. I would not be surprised if that happens just because Will Howard is hurt. Will Howard has been the camp darling with the fans. Everyone wants to see Will Howard, be the quarterback of the future. I don't know if that's going to happen, but everyone seems to love the guy because of what he did at Ohio State, winning the national championship. He's a winner, of course. But there's a lot of guys out there that you might want to pay attention to. How about this name? Roman Wilson is a guy that you want to keep an eye on. Can he win that number 2 job? Because that's another battle that's going on out there.
Yeah, again, I think preseason is that perfect opportunity for those guys that we might not know a lot about. Roman Wilson is one of those names, right? So I think that tomorrow will be a good sample size for some people, but it's also going to be against the Jaguars starters, so that's also going to be a huge challenge for them as well.
Yeah, that'll be a good thing. Maybe my question here to you and everyone else, if they want to call in, do you even keep tabs on if you win or lose in the preseason? I don't care about the score. I don't care about winners and losers. I want to see guys make an impression. I want to see guys do well, stand out. It doesn't matter if the Steelers go 0-3. I don't care because you saw the one year Kenny Pickett, lit it up for the preseason, and look what happened in the regular season. So to me, preseason scores don't matter.
Well, I think it's like spring training. I'm always going to bring it back to baseball, right? Spring training, I feel we always see the Pittsburgh Pirates do decently well, and then you see what happens with their season. So I truly do not think preseason games matter, again, because you aren't seeing what this Steelers team is going to fully bring to the table once regular season starts.
All right, should there be fewer NFL preseason games? That's the question of the night. The majority of the audience is saying no, 66%. I would be in the yes category. So we're going to take a break. We're coming back with your phone calls. 412-575-2600 is the number, or you can tweet me at Richie Walsh. Back in a couple minutes. All right, welcome back to the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. This is our Xfinity tweet of the night. This is from the NFL. Shedeur Sanders, in his Browns debut, started the game. The Browns actually won this game, 14-23, 138 in the air, 2 touchdowns. That's about a 107 passer rating, so not a bad start for Shedeur Sanders, who's trying to get in the top 3. I don't know if he's going to be a starter. That's going to probably be between Flacco and Kenny Pickett, but hey, maybe he has a chance here.
Yeah, maybe. Did you see the entourage on his entrance?
Yeah, I did see that. I don't think a lot of his teammates really liked it, but I think it's a distraction. But if he keeps throwing touchdowns, potentially, I wouldn't be surprised. Anything can happen in Cleveland, right? That's what history has told us. Let's go out to the phone lines. And we got Bill in Carrick. How you doing, Bill?
Hey, Rich. How you doing?
Good. Thanks for calling.
The Steelers, I don't think they're going to have a winning season this year because Rodgers is too old, and Tomlin, he's not a great coach.
Bill, I disagree with you here. I think Tomlin is a good coach. I mean, he hasn't had the playoff success in the last few years, but I think he's a good coach. I disagree with that point. I also disagree with Aaron Rodgers. Not that he's old, but I think he's going to have a decent year if he gets the protection in front of him. I don't think the Steelers. I don't think they're going to have a losing record. I think they're going to have a winning record. They got to get off to a good start, but I see this team winning 10 games. They have a really good defense, and he's got some big targets at tight end, and he's going to get out. He's going to get the ball out fast. The guy's still accurate, still has some zip on the ball. He can still throw it with some velocity. I've been impressed the times I've seen him throw the ball at camp. Now it was in practice setting. It wasn't in a game. Like I said, if he could stay healthy and upright, I think he's going to have a pretty good season. I'm not saying an all-pro type season, but a pretty good season.
Yeah, I mean, Rich, you said it right there. I think the Steelers, they have a great defense. They have had a great defense. The offensive side of the ball was something that they were missing this year. Is Aaron Rodgers that answer for them? I'm not exactly sure, but I don't think that he's going to have a bad season. I think that this could actually be a very good thing for the Steelers right now.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers not the long-term answer, but he's definitely a short-term answer.
Yes.
And if things fall apart for Rodgers, you throw in Mason Rudolph. I still think that guy can win you, a few games down the stretch if Aaron Rodgers gets hurt or is struggling. I still think the Steelers are a 9 or 10 win team. 9 wins probably won't get you in the playoffs, but 10 would. I think they're a playoff caliber team. Super Bowl caliber team? I don't think so. They would need a dominant number 2 receiver to take coverage away from DK Metcalf. They need a few other things. And, maybe the quarterback could be the problem with getting to the Super Bowl because of his age and if he gets hurt. That's the only thing. His decision-making, his velocity is still there. His arm is still there. I am kind of leaning. I am in the Aaron Rodgers camp now. When they signed him, I was kind of like, hey, just go with Mason Rudolph. And now I'm slowly, liking this guy and thinking that they're going to do better with him under center than anyone else. Back to the phone lines. We got Gary out in West Elizabeth. How you doing, Gary?
Yeah, Rich.
Good. Thanks for calling.
I think Jones is going to do better because he played left tackle with Georgia. That's his natural.
But he only played there for a year, Gary, and not even.
Well, yeah, you're right. But I also think the Steelers are going to run. Everybody's worried about that other receiver. I think they're going to run a lot of 12 and 13 personnel.
I don't disagree with that. I mean, you look at the tight ends they have. Jonnu Smith can go out there and split out to a wide receiver. Darnell Washington's huge. And Pat Freiermuth, I always said that he could be, in the right situation, one of the best receiving tight ends in the NFL. So those 3 guys would make you think that they would go 12 or 13 for sure. So we'll see. You got to leave DK Metcalf on the field at all times. Mm-hmm. And if this offensive line isn't that good or doesn't gel quickly, he's got to get the ball out fast, and the tight end would be the guy to get it to.
Well, and this is something that we saw with the Steelers last year. Darnell Washington and Pat Freiermuth, whenever they were open and up the middle of the field, that's who Russell Wilson and Justin Fields would go to. So I think that is going to be that solution if you're still having those struggles at wide receiver.
Also, you got a guy like Kenneth Gainwell, adds another dynamic to this game, to the Steelers, getting the ball out fast. I think Caleb Johnson is going to be a star for the Steelers this year, kind of like what Le'Veon Bell did. So that's my prediction, that he's going to be the most impactful rookie, I think, this year. Let's go back out to the phone lines. We got Michael out in Beaver Falls. How you doing, Michael?
Excellent. Well, hi, Richie.
Hey.
Nice tan there. You can tell you've been at the training camp. Look at you, Suzie. I like your tan as well. My question is to both of you guys, do you think the Steelers practice enough so they could really gel with the young bloods and the older guys? What do you think?
Yeah, I do think they practice enough. I think they definitely have practiced more this year than they did last year. Remember, training camp practices were early last year, and they didn't have a second practice. Now they practice early. Then they have their practice, which is open to fans at 1:55 every day. So they practice twice. They go over more things. And I think with the guy, I don't want to keep hyping up Aaron Rodgers here, but this guy's a leader. Everyone seems to follow him around. It was unlike the Russell Wilson of last year. Everyone really wants to learn from a guy like Aaron Rodgers, and I think he's going to help get that offense together on the same page. It might take a little bit of time, because you could see that the offense is going through growing pains right now, and that usually happens. The defense is always ahead of the offense, but I think they will get on the same page at some point. Hopefully they do it early on, because they have to win more games than they lose early in the season, just like last year.
Yeah, and I don't think it's a question of do they practice enough. I mean, if this question of should there be fewer NFL preseason games wasn't the question of the night, it would be should training camp be shorter? I mean, what are your thoughts on that, just because of all the practicing that goes in before these preseason games even start?
Well, they shorten training camp, it seems like, every year. I think training camp is beneficial. There's part of me that wouldn't mind having it, in the South Side or closer to my home, not in St. Vincent. But I think it is beneficial for the guys to come together. You always hear them talk about it. I know it stinks. They're up there for 3 weeks. For the players, they get 1 day off a week. But I think training camp is at a good number. I don't think that they're going to change that. Maybe they will. If there's less preseason games, they might change that. But this is going to be a Players Association thing. So that's what it is right now. That's why they can only have so many practices up there, practice so many hours, do so many things. All right, don't forget about should there be fewer NFL preseason games. Just scan that QR code. Our Penn West Live poll question of the night. 48% is in the no now. Yes is winning. That's where I was. 52%. Back out to the phone lines. We got Brian out in Castle Shannon. How you doing, Brian?
Yeah, sorry to get off subject here, but this is on the Pirates.
Let's Bucko Fever. I got it.
Oh, he's got it.
Hey, they got it. I had it tonight. They're improved to 51 and 66. Go ahead.
Which means that they need 12 more wins to avoid 100 losses, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
But what I'm calling about here is a little longer term. If Biden would just get his act together and just offer Skeens $700 million over 10 years starting after this contract, I would think that offer would be picked up in a moment. And don't try and cry poor to me, because nothing's a billionaire. And let's face it, a good portion of that's coming off of the team. Another portion of it's
revenue sharing, and Brian, there's going to be a new CBA, and they're going to have a work stoppage, and they're going to fix baseball. Hopefully, things could change. $700 million is a lot of money. I don't even know if the Dodgers or the Yankees or teams like that would offer him that after his arbitration. I was thinking more of the 500, maybe 600 by then. I would try to offer him a deal right now. I don't know if it's going to happen, and here's the big reason why. I think Paul Skeens is getting frustrated. I mean, I would be, wouldn't you, with this team and what ownership and management does, not adding players? I wouldn't want to be here knowing that you could ride out arbitration and get, 60, 70 million. If you're from the Pirates, you're going to get that amount of money no matter what in arbitration if your arm doesn't fall off, and then you're going to hit it big with a contract. Well, go somewhere else where they want to win. He wants to win. And right now, they're not giving him the pieces to win.
Nope.
So that's why I don't know if I would tie myself to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I think the Pirates, say they do come up with a miraculous deal. I don't think that that's going to happen. If I'm Paul Skeens, again, just like you said, I don't know if I stay here unless I actually see those other pieces start to fall into place. But I think that that's very doubtful as well.
And Suzie, make no mistake about it, the Pirates will not be the highest bidder. That is, you can mark that down right now.
Yeah.
Let's go out to Jerry and Franklin. How you doing, Jerry?
Hi, Suzie. Hi, Rich. Hey, thanks for taking my call. Hey, I'm glad the Pirates are playing a lot of the younger players and giving them some reps and some at-bats. But I'd like to say something about Jack Suwinski, if I might. I know he's not hitting great, but I love the way he hustles. I love the way he runs the bases. And I never thought his throwing arm was great. But it seems like thrown to the cutoff, they're throwing somebody out like every game. So yeah, I'm glad to see that they're playing him. You might as well find out what you really have there.
Yeah, but you can't have Jack Suwinski with his 108 average followed up by Jared Triolo with batting 178. You can't have that in a lineup if you expect to win games consistently. You know, that's the problem right now. I don't know what it is with Suwinski. Maybe he could go back to that year where he hit, 20-some home runs. That's what they were hoping for, but that's not the case.
No, unfortunately, and I've said this time and time again, I'm sure Jack Suwinski's a great guy. I just don't think he's a major league player, and unfortunately, because he is in the Pirates organization, he's getting that opportunity, which is great for him, but he shouldn't be on a major league roster.
All right, we got to take a break. Back in a couple minutes. Stay right there.